everyone, my name is Maddie, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my October TBR chosen by Dart Attack, SPOOKOPLATHON edition. It is October, almost. Don't ask me how, everyone's saying it, I don't know when and how this happened, but we're here. And it is also, very excitingly, the month of BECCA'S BOOKOPLATHON, this time SPOOKOPLATHON. Normally this is a readathon run in September, but it's in October this year, so very obviously it is spooky themed, and you're going to be hearing this a lot from me in the next month. I am not a person that does spooky. I don't do it at all. I do not read horrors. I do not read thrillers. I have no interest in reading either of those things, really. It's not my genre, it's not my vibe. But I have, over the years, amassed some spookier books, and I've put off reading them. So this year, I'm determined. I'm going to get in the vibe, I'm going to get in the autumnal feels, I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to read some spooky books. But before we get into what my October reading holds, let's see how September went. So for September's TBR, which was my previous version of Dart Attack, if you want to watch any of the previous Dart Attack videos, they're all linked to the playlist above and in the description. I ended up with 8 prompts because we had a couple of extra throws, and I have definitely completed 7 of these, and I haven't completed one of them, but it's up to you guys whether we consider this a win or not. So very quickly to run through what I was reading. Someone's favourite of last year, Legends and Lattes. For Blurbed, I read This Is How You Lose the Time War, which is blurbed by Martha Wells. For my 2 versions of 24 Hours, I did A Shot in the Dark and That's Back to Front, Spy Family Volume 1. For Hauled over a year ago, I read Vicky Romeo plus Jules. For Contemporary, I read Acts of Service. For the prompt of a random page number, which came out 184 pages, I read Spy Family Volume 2, which is close enough. But then the one prompt I have not completed is Ugly Cover. Because if I'm being honest, I said this in the video, I really struggled to identify any ugly covers on my bookshelf. I love the covers of the books I read, and if I don't like them, I normally end up buying a different edition that I do like. So I just don't have any, and so I didn't read one, which I guess is a fail, but I didn't want to call any of the covers ugly, so we didn't do it. But coming into October, I have a big old stack. I've pulled off every book from my shelf which could in any way, shape or form be spooky or autumnal. I'm going to put them down though. And I'm going to try and read not exclusively spooky books. I mean, I know there is at least one other book I'll be reading that isn't spooky at all, but I'm going to give it a go. We're going to see if I can try and get into the spooky season. I do have a couple of books I'm absolutely going to be reading, in fact 3, but then after that we're going to get into throwing some darts at the BOOKOPLATHON board, as I do every year, and see what prompts I'm trying to match. So my first guaranteed book is going to be Bunny by Mona Awad. I think this is actually a US ARC. I got it in a charity shop, who knows, but this is the edition I have, and I'm absolutely reading this. I've mentioned, I think, in a couple videos, me, India and Christy have just started Besties Book Club, which is not a YouTube book club, it's not a thing we're doing live shows, it's literally just the 3 of us pick a book each month which we're all going to read together, and Bunny is our book for October. India has read it and 5-starred it before but wanted to reread, and me and Christy want to finally get to it, so definitely going to be reading that. Another spooky one is I have an e-arc of Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. Anyone that's been around for a while will know Alex E. Harrow is one of my favourite authors of all time. 10,000 Doors of January, the Once and Future Witches, and also the 6 Lives of the Saint are just the best things ever, so I'm so excited for Starling House. It is so out of my realm of normal books, but I'm very excited to give it a go, and if anyone's going to make me like a haunted house story, it's going to be Alex E. Harrow. And then the final guaranteed read is Wildfire by Hannah Grace, which comes out on the 3rd of October, and I will be reading on the 3rd of October because Icebreaker is one of my favourite books ever, and I want to read the next one in that series and die over it. So it may not be spooky, that's my one exception. I get to read an ice hockey romance and be very happy about it. However, with all of that out of the way, it has come time to throw some darts. As always, I'm going to be doing 6 throws. I don't have a method for doing doubles, which is normally part of this game, but screw it, we'll do what we can do. And then, to be honest, if I've completed these 6 throws, I'm thinking I may well do some rolls as I go throughout the month anyway, because it's just fun and I kind of want to. So let's get into the throws, see what 6 prompts I end up having to fulfill. I'm a bit nervous because like 80% of these prompts are quite easy for me, but some of them really, really aren't. So wish me luck, because I don't have many spooky books to choose from. Okay, so you may be able to tell I'm standing a touch closer than normal, and that is because my gorgeously designed BECCA'S board, which I spent hours making, you know, as I do every time I do this, well, it's a little bit thicker than the normal paper prompts I have on this board, and this caused a slight issue, which I will now demonstrate. Of course, the first one sticks. Do we see the problem? So, this is what we're faced with. I realised when it was too late, so we're just going with it. But what I'm going to try and do is, I'll put you on the other camera, I'm going to try and throw around the edge or like outside, because it's this middle bit that doesn't stick. So we may have to do a few extra throws to get each prompt, but we're here. At this point, I considered trying to get hold of some dice and just rolling. I considered putting it on the ground and just dropping the darts onto it, which does work, and to be honest, if I get annoyed enough, we might switch to that. But it may also just be a system of misses don't mean anything, and I throw a few times to try and get something. So, with that in mind, I have all 6 darts because I'm not going to want to walk back and forth. Let's see how many throws it takes to get prompt number 1. This is going to be the death of me, I think, but more throws, I guess. Yay! Fucking hell. Okay, throw number 1, attempt 1 out of 10 probably. Let's see. Oh, for fuck's sake, I don't have dice. Okay, me literally just talking about the fact I don't have dice. I'll do it on my phone, which is set up filming. So the first prompt I have landed on is dice roll roulette, which I think, if I'm correct, is you roll 2 dice and then every dot equals 50 pages, and then so you see how many dots you end up with, and that determines what length of book you're trying to read. Becca does have a very useful document for this, which explains how you calculate how many, so I'll probably refer to that as well, but let's roll the dice. I've got dice roll up on my phone. Let's do that and see how many pages I'm gonna have to try and read. I think I've got a decent variety on my stack, but I don't have anything particularly big, so we're hoping this stays a little bit smaller, but let's see. Is that in focus? Okay, so that's 8. Let's check how many pages that is. Okay, so 8 dots is between 375 and 424 pages. Let's start going through the stack and see what that gets me. Okay, I checked through my stack of books. We have the first one. There were 2 options. There were like 2 other books that were super, super close, but the 2 options I have are A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid and After Love by Tanya Byrne. I'm very excited for both of these. A Study in Drowning isn't necessarily spooky, but it's dark academia kind of vibes. Fairy tales, fae, school, like decrepit estate. 2 rival students investigate the reclusive author's legacy. It sounds really good. I've heard amazing things about it, so that is a very strong contender. And then After Love is a YA paranormal, I think, where someone falls in love with a ghost kind of vibes. India has read this one and marked it up, and then I've stolen her edition, so very intrigued to give this one a go as well if I want something a bit easier. But 2 strong contenders for that first prompt. We're off to a good start. Okay, now we're on to throw number 2 of 6. Let's see how many attempts this one takes. We were lucky with the first one. I'll also say if it's like just outside the board, but it's obvious what it's in line with, we're taking it, because otherwise this is going to be awful. That landed in one place and then skittled down. I'm gonna give it another go and see if I can get it to land a bit more decisively. Perfect, that works. Okay, so the second prompt is There Is Nothing I Do Better Than Revenge, which I'm going to have to look up what it is. So this prompt, unsurprisingly, is to choose a book with a revenge plot. Slight problem, I don't know the plot in any of these books, but I have something that I think could stretch it. I'm thinking I might go with a lesson in vengeance, because vengeance is another word for revenge. Is this about revenge? I don't know, but let's find out. Felicity Morrow is back at the Dalloway School. Perched in the Catskill Mountains, the centuries-old ivy-covered campus was home until the tragic death of her girlfriend. Now, after a year away, she's returned to finish high school. She even has her old room in Godwin House, the exclusive dormitory rumoured to be haunted by the spirits of 5 Dalloway students. Girls some say were witches. The Dalloway 5 all died mysteriously one after another right on Godwin grounds. Witchcraft is woven into Dalloway's past. The school doesn't talk about it, but the students do. In secret rooms and shadowy corners, girls convene, and before her girlfriend died, Felicity was drawn to the dark. She's determined to leave that behind her now, but it's hard when Dalloway's occult history is everywhere and when the new girl won't let her forget. It's Ellis Haley's first year at Dalloway, and she's already amassed a loyal following. A prodigy novelist at 17, Ellis is a so-called method writer. She's eccentric and brilliant, and Felicity can't shake the pull she feels to her. So when Ellis asks Felicity to help her research the Dalloway 5 for her second book, Felicity can't say no. Given her history with the arcane, Felicity is the perfect resource. When history begins to repeat itself, Felicity will have to face the darkness in Dalloway and in herself. So, vengeance in the title, and it has things haunting, which to me feels revengey, because why would you haunt if you didn't want to get back at someone? So, is this a stretch? Yes. Does the prompt literally say on it, feel free to open to interpretation? Yes. So, there's nothing I do better than revenge, a lesson in vengeance. We are being taught how to do revenge. I'm claiming it. Okay, on to prompt number 3. I'd really like to just get one of the colours, but we will see. I get no control, as always. Let's try, I don't know, the top, maybe? That one, Mom. Swear to God. Oh, it's even harder when you can't aim at most of the target. This is so annoying. Okay, I can't see what that is from here. Let's go find out. So, pumpkin spice is to read something anticipated or something spicy. So the obvious 2 options for this are Starling House by Alex Harrow, obviously very anticipated, or for spicy, Wildfire by Hannah Grace. It's a romance book, and if the smut level's in Icebreaker anything to go by, this book is gonna have some spice. So, one of those. I might use this prompt to say Wildfire, although it's not spooky, because this is probably going to be the only prompt it fits for. So, Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is a romance book. I cannot remember. I think it follows Russ, who if you've read Icebreaker, you'll know who Russ is. It's one of these big series. I think it's going to be like a lot of books that follow all different people in the friendship group. I don't know the premise for this one. I don't want to. I'm going to love it nonetheless. It's Hannah Grace. Icebreaker is one of the best books ever, so I am very excited. Okay, prompt number 4. Let's go. Where are we aiming? I don't know. Yep, that's about what we'd expect. Let's try that again. Okay, this is annoying now. Ooh! Okay, you know what? At this point I'm just choosing which one I'm gonna claim, but that has stopped right on something, so we're gonna go with it. Okay, so that has stopped right on most recent purchase, which is perfect because my most recent purchase is a really spooky book I really want to get to this month. So I was in Foyles the other day and I ended up picking up this book, which is a tiny little novella and is absolutely gorgeous, called Carmilla and Laura. It's also gorgeous under the dust jacket. Stunning, obsessed. And this was a complete random pickup. I was just intrigued what it is, and there is a very famous vampire novella called Carmilla, which I might try and track down and read as well. We'll see how I'm feeling. And this is a retelling of that novella, focused on the provocative and like elusive main 2 characters, Carmilla and Laura. Basically, this is gothic lesbian vampires. Do I need to know anything else? Absolutely not. Gothic lesbian vampires. I will be reading this month. I am very excited to give this a go. Okay, throw number 5. I'm getting increasingly tempted to do more than 5, but let's give this a go. Miss, love that for me. Literally just hit the wall. When it scoots that far, there's just no point. Oh, this is so frustrating. Oh, okay, that one. None of my books on the stack have cats on them. I've had a quick skim through my shelves. I can't find any books with a cat. I've just thought of one. Which is this manga, She and Her Cat. But if I'm honest, I really, really want to try and stick to spooky stuff. So I'm exercising my right to choose another prompt, or like throw again for the next prompt. And whatever prompt I get next, I have to do 2 books for. So that'll mean I'm up to 7 books, but that's fine. We're gonna give that a go. It's risky, but we're gonna give it a go because I really want to try and stick to spooky books if I can, and that's just a touch too specific for me to achieve. Okay, so looking for prompt number 4 again and again. Whatever I get, I'm gonna have to complete twice, so fingers crossed. Just a handful of darts. I don't even know where to begin. Like, yeah, that's stuck to the back of my radiator now. Oh, okay, that is in line with something. The prompt is jigsaw. I have no idea what that means. I'm gonna go look it up. Okay, this is also hard. So Jigsaw is a book that features games or a trial or a tournament. I have one book that I think by a bit of a stretch could work for this. This is questionable, I'm aware, but I'm gonna add Gideon the Ninth because I seem to remember that this is people kind of competing to try and get to something first. Deadly Trial of Wits and Skill! Deadly Trial of Wits and Skill! Okay, Gideon the Ninth. I have no idea what I'm gonna do for a second book of this. Give me a minute. Okay, after some more searching, we have found an option. So, option 1, well, book 1, Gideon the Ninth. This follows, I can't remember anyone's name, I read this so long ago, it's a reread for me. But lesbian necromancers in space is what everyone always says. If that is not a spooky Halloween-y book, I don't know what is, but this is a fantasy, sci-fi book. I remember I enjoyed it when I read it, I was very confused by it. I, now I'm a bit older, get on better with confusing books. So, want to give it another go. I do also have the rest of the books in this series that are currently out, so if I love it, I can just keep reading. And then the second option I found, not necessarily spooky, but I think works for autumnal vibes, and that is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I have started this book before, I did DNF it 100 pages in, but Christy loves it, India loves it, everyone fucking loves it, and I don't know why I got bored, but I was going through a kind of hard time when I tried it, so maybe it was just that. So, Christy, India, you'll be happy to hear I'm putting The Atlas 6 on my TBR. This is meant to be my last throw, and I am yet to get Starling House or Bunny on my TBR. And Bunny especially, I really, really, really need to get on my TBR. So, fingers crossed this works. If not, I might do one more throw, though I'm already gonna have 7 books. But if not that, then I'm gonna be rolling as I go. I'm planning to vlog all month, like do weekly vlogs for this, so check those out in case I'm having to do more rolls as I go to try and get the books I really want to read. But, let's try for the final throw. I don't even know where to aim because normally I just go for the middle, but I can't aim at the middle. So I don't know, maybe somewhere over there. That again is the wall. I'm really not good at this. This is infuriating. Nope. Okay. I wish you could see, there's a radiator right under this. Obviously this is magnetic. When they fall off, they just attach themselves to the radiator and it's quite amusing. I'm really trying to go for that left-hand side because I've not had anything over there yet. That skidded. I don't know where it landed. Do I take it? Okay, we're gonna give it one more go. If this one works out clearer, then we'll take the clearer one. If not, then we'll go with the slightly in-between one that's currently there. Oh! Community shelf. Okay. Community shelf is to get a prompt. I guess I'm gonna flip this over and go to actual Dart Attack and get myself a Dart Attack prompt. 1 minute. Okay, Dart Attack is back and set up. Let's see what prompt I get for Community Shelf from Dart Attack. This feels overly complicated, but let's find out. And I missed, I swear to God. This board is not working with me today, it's very unhelpful. Let's try again. Okay, dark orange, let's see what it is. This is one word title. The prompt is one word title. I'm gonna give you one guess what I'm gonna put on my TBR for this. Bunny. Ideal. Do I know what this is about? No. It is at a university. There is a group of girls and they all call each other Bunny. It's creepy. I think there's animal violence. It's culty, it's surrealist. I don't know what to expect. Everyone loves it. I'm gonna give it a go. I'm very, very intrigued. Okay, as much as I really, really, really want to do more throws because it's so much fun, I am going to stop there so that I can do some rolls as I go throughout the month. But let's very quickly run through in reverse, because it's the order I have the paper, what prompts I've got, what books I'm planning to read for them, and then a couple others I would like to squeeze in if I end up with the time. So, first up, one word title, Bunny by Mona Awad. Very excited. Wish me luck because I'm slightly terrified of this book. Next up was Jigsaw, which is Trials or Tournaments. Two options for this, well, two books for this. Gideon the Ninth and Atlas 6. Very much a trial and tournament. Slightly questionable, but has the word trial in the blurb, so we're claiming it. Next up is most recent purchase, which is Carmilla and Laura by S.D. Simper, a retelling of an old vampire novella. Next up was There Is Nothing I Do Better Than Revenge, and we're reading A Lesson for Vengeance. Is it a stretch? A lesson in vengeance, sorry. Is it a stretch? Yes. Am I very excited to read another Victoria Lee? Yes. For Pumpkin Spice, an anticipated release for a spicy book, I'll be reading either Starling House or Wildfire by Hannah Grace. And then for the Dice Roll Roulette of 8, which is between 375 and 424 pages, I'll either be reading A Study in Drowning or After Love. So, one of these very different books. And then I have a lot of other books pulled off my shelves, but the two I would really like to try and get to, because I've been wanting to for so long, are Paradise Rot by Jenny Hual, because Christy loves this and I'm so intrigued, and it's pretty short so I could definitely give it a read. And then Mrs. Death, because I think I'm going to really enjoy this, and when I was just looking at page counts for that prompt earlier, colour me so intrigued by what this book is going to be, and I feel like this is the right kind of weird for like autumnal vibes. So, very approximately, this is how the TBR is looking. It's way too chunky for its own good, but I am so excited to try and fall in love with autumnal and spooky vibes over the next few weeks. If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you for watching. If you want to leave a comment down below and don't know what to say, then leave either a dice emoji or a dart attack emoji, just a dart emoji. Not that conceited, it's not my emoji. Down in the comments to let me know you're here. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more. As I said, I will be vlogging throughout October, hopefully, so there should be weekly vlogs, and there may be some fun things going on. Nothing huge, just some little fun bits. So keep an eye out for those, and I'll see you in my next video in a few days' time. But thanks so much for watching, bye, and I'll see you later.